Good Wednesday morning. Wow, yeah, good Wednesday morning. Man, I'm running late big time, taking care of business, getting things going. What am I driving? I'm driving this freaking plum crazy Charger because the kid and my dad, they took off in my freaking power truck, my power ram, my TRX. Wow, good Wednesday morning, like I say. Hey, hi to all those out there who watch me on a regular basis. And, geez, my Christ, having run a company, being down here taking care of tons of things, and I totally have here we go. Oh, yeah, just it doesn't end. So, anyways, I'm getting all befuddled here in this Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. I truly enjoy going up to my Dunkin' Donuts and getting really good coffee. And I just get like an old-fashioned donut. I barely even eat that in all reality. But anyways, all of those were so cool to reach out my channel and wish my daughter a happy birthday. That was so cool. I really have some great subscribers. So everybody out there, I'm sorry I can't name every single one of you that by your username. I mean, when I do that, what ends up happening, I offend somebody because I didn't mention their username and name. And it isn't by any means me deliberately doing that. It's just, oh my gosh, tons people wish my daughter a really cool birthday. We had such a great time. And here it is. I mean, when I was looking at the weather here last week coming down here, my vision was I was going to be in rain all day long, for most of this week. And so far today, this is just a really beautiful day. So we're being blessed in so many ways down here in Florida. And if you watched my channel, you saw my daughter had a really good time yesterday. And for anybody out there who has a kid that's growing up, you know, these are the years that you never get back. I mean, oh my gosh, so anybody on my channel could borderline be in tears when you go back to thinking about you being a teenager and crossing that bridge to a 20-year-old and just really starting to kind of, your eyes start to open up. You really kind of just start to see things differently and you start understanding things differently. And I mean, it just really is a time in our life that I think all of us can cherish and just have so many memories of the true beginnings of your real adulthood, of you really then getting a handle of the reality to the world. And sadly, as you know, it isn't always the nicest of conditions and people. But anyways, just once again wanted to reach out this Wednesday morning and really thank all the people that watch my channel for being so kind to make my daughter feel special. Because when you get attention, that makes you feel special. And so that was really cool. And she really, I mean, she said that was one of her best birthdays yet, which I thought that was pretty cool. Which shows she's down here with my father, and she just loves the Florida area down here, and she just loves that Russell's boots wear that you know gives them the. I'm gonna let this guy go by. I mean, this is such a riffraff, crazy area with all the activities going on. Be safe. Always be better to be safe and sound if you can, right? So if you watch the channel, you'll see we went over there and she got a new set of boots. But when I was going over there, I got an email from Lethal Performance, and then I got a phone call from FedEx. I got a phone call from the terminal in Winchester, Virginia, that years ago I could get a hold of that terminal directly. And it's just incredible. I could never find that number. FedExpress would never give me the direct phone number there. It was always 800 numbers. You could never get a hold of the terminal. It drove me nuts. And so finally yesterday, if you watched my channel yesterday, you saw how mad I am. Because if you're following along in that Whipple supercharger, that's 2 items to be delivered to my house, it's just beyond believable. And so I got a hold of the terminal, and close to 2 weeks ago, I put a call in for the for a lost item, and then here it is now, like to a T in some ways. 2 weeks later, they give you a call, and now it's an issue of, hey, if you want this item, it has to be either dropped at your house tomorrow, which is today, or you have to come to our facility and pick it up today. If you don't accomplish that today, by the rules of FedEx, we have but no choice but to ship it back to the shipper in California. And there's no exception. Even the point Lethal Performance even called on my behalf to see if they can keep it longer. They won't do it. It's just so maddening. What is going on with that damn Whipple supercharger? So that thing was never lost. It was just sitting in the warehouse at the facility for the last 2 weeks, and they never did reach out and call me directly. It's just so stupid. And my company name is on that package, and that location even has so many transactions of my company having things shipped there and me even picking them up. It's just driving me nuts. So here's the ball game. I called and I haggled. I said drop ship it to Timbrook Honda, or you can do this, do that, or I can have somebody in Timbrook Honda go up there and get it for me. Nope. And it has to be a person with a driver's license that has the same address as where that package is going. And so I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So now here's the ball game. I was resisting to try to deliver it one more time. I was going to try to have somebody go out there and pick it up. You can't do it. I can't do it because I don't have the else that I know has my address on a driver's license that I know of. And so now it's down to, they're going to try to deliver it today. My wife is going to be working this morning. She'll be home this afternoon. And yeah, right. Yeah, I'll be amazed. I'll be amazed if this package gets delivered today. And I have the whole complete supercharger. They're saying this other box is 64 pounds. And I'm saying just drop it at the FedEx facility there in town, a store, and they claim that it's an oversized package and they can't do that. And I'm just like, this just makes no sense to me. I just picked up like a 70-pound big-ass box. Why can't we do the same thing with that one? So they won't do that. Oh my gosh. It's just, that was just a thing that irked the hell out of me yesterday. And I tried not to get it too radical because it's my kid's birthday and wanted to have fun and all. So for the Whipple supercharger, and once again, if my wife isn't there or the driver doesn't do the proper thing to try to get my wife's attention and just drives off very quickly, then that supercharger goes back to California. And then Lethal Performance, the girl Lethal Performance, I didn't want to get into her because we don't know the end result, but she makes a comment, Lethal Performance, well, if they ship it back to California, then you're probably going to have new you're probably going to have new freight bill to get that back to your house. I didn't say anything. I'm like, well, we haven't gotten to that stage yet. Why start arguing about that? I'm like, and I was telling them that I know Jared knows me because of being on the Mustang forum, the YouTube community. So Jared knows me. I've talked to him directly, and I said, I'm getting ready to tell Jared, take this thing back. Just reverse everything. Just reverse everything. I'll send the other box back. Give me my close to $13,000 of monies I paid you guys in December of last year. Just give it back. I mean, part of me is just like, yeah, it just isn't meant to be. I don't know. So you'll get an update on that probably tomorrow if the Whipple supercharger comes in. And you know as well as I do, if they have to ship it back, that probably wouldn't be shipped back and probably till Friday. Maybe not even till Monday, who knows. And then to get it back to where I am, you're now, I said this when I first started talking about all this, I said, this now goes into July. This will turn into the July fiasco. But anyways, enough harboring on that. So here we are, going down in the traffic, in the Tampa area. Traffic is really a challenge down here in this Tampa area. It's just a lot of traffic, a lot of people. And I went out of my way this morning to look at the real estate market. I'm just intrigued to hear on how so many things of these gloomer doomers talk about, and how I was telling you that when I was at the DMV on Monday, the gentleman working there told me that the repos are now coming to their attention more than ever, and the most ever in modern times, and it's going through the roof. And I was intrigued by that, thinking, okay, well, there you go. All these guys are telling everybody that the world's come to end the car industry. I guess it's really starting to play out, especially here in Florida. So then I thought, well, what about the housing market? And here I am, getting my donuts. And you want to hear me get my order? Do you really want to hear that? Let's see. How quick are they, right? Yeah, you're now just in the lull zone. And here's Thornton's. That's kind of a well-known gas station franchise down here, and they got all the electric charging station. They're building out electric charging stations for the locals here, because this really isn't a major thoroughfare road. So anyways, I thought to myself this morning, you know what I'm going to do? And I even went on Zillow, and I looked at the market, and does the market have more homes for sale than it did like a year ago? It does, but not really like radical. So I thought to myself this morning it would be really cool. I'm going to drive through my brother's neighborhood, and I'm going to share with you what I kind of saw on Zillow, just because I'm really befuddled, because where I live up in the DC metro area, there really is not many for sale signs. And typically, when a for sale sign goes up, it's usually within a very short time frame that the home sells. So for up in that area that I live, and I know many people that watch my channel go, but you're in that rich-ass DC metro area. But I've lived there for now over 40 years, and I've witnessed the real estate market crash that area numerous times. So even though that's a rich area, I have literally witnessed numerous times of that area going through challenging times. And so, so for me, I just really can't agree that somebody's going to say, well, it's just your market. Typically what I've seen throughout the years is it usually kind of goes hand in hand, where the whole country's kind of got a real estate crisis. It seems to be the same thing in your own backyard. So now as you go up here to my brother's house, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little further down than I usually go. I can turn there, but I'll go down to just take a drive down his street, and just to share with you how many for sale signs are in this market. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I talk on a consistent basis of my YouTube channel how there's other YouTubers out there that present information, and I scratch my head and think, is this more about just getting the clickbait to run your channel, or is it really the sad facts that we're in dire circumstances and the media machine just isn't going to address it, and it's not going to talk about it for the political agendas that drive media machines? And I'm sure a lot of people will be, yeah, of course, that's probably the number one thing that is always going to be in play, is you're never going to really know the real story depending on who's in power and who's not in power, and the media machine will basically cover up and hide the information, the propaganda machine. So here's my brother's cool neighborhood, and as we drive down the street, this is basically homes from $500,000 to $1 million. So basically these are basically $500,000, $560,000, $580,000. You'll have some $600,000, $700,000. You'll have a few $1 million homes. And for the most part, really this you go back so many years ago, this was just kind of the middle class neighborhood. This has never been an upper class neighborhood. And it still, for the most part, really is to a degree, because of so many people still live here. And yeah, there's been houses that have been bought and sold. Now here's the speed bumps my brother calls the above ground potholes, which I thought that was pretty creative. So that house there, you can see that's the 70s, maybe 80s style home. My brother built his house here, I believe, back in like 2005 or 3 or 2. I just can't exactly remember. There's really nice park. They got pickleball and tennis courts, and it really is a nice community. And thank goodness the drug dealer, the druggie guy, lived next to my brother's house. That house was basically borderline foreclosed on and sold, but really it was a will thing where the sister forced to sell the home and kicked out the drug dealer, and a guy came in and he redid that whole house. You'd never know it's the same house. So once again, here you go. So if you go down next to my brother's house where the big old boat and white truck is, so that these houses here, there's some $1 million homes, $800,000, $900,000, $1 million homes. My brother's house is evaluated in the $500,000 range. Next door, look at that house. Look how it's been totally revamped. And that's like, that home now, it shows on Zillow like 500, but that's now probably a $700,000, $800,000 home. Same thing over here. That's probably about 650. That's probably 550, 600, 700. But look, where's the for sale signs? Where's the dire straits of the industry? You're hearing so many people talk about in Florida that you're gonna see a huge influx of homes being for sale because of the higher insurance rates are going to destroy the ownership of owning a home down here near the water. And so this is floodplain, basically floodplain territory. That's Tampa Bay over there. So you're literally in a major storm. This is totally vulnerable to there's a for sale sign. There's one for sale sign. Older home that needs to be renovated. That's all about the land. That house probably will sell for $400,000+ just because of the land. But here we go. So we've seen one for sale sign in my own brother's backyard. You go to my parents' neighborhood, there's one for sale sign. You drive around that general area, there's maybe a few for sale signs. So once again, I'm totally befuddled on how I hear that the Florida real estate market is going to be in a shambles, and it's going to be the heyday for all the people that have the cash, and that you're going to be able to get a deal on a house down here. Here's a house. See, that's a house there. That's going to be a project house. Whoever owns that house, they're just selling it. They probably bought it 20 years ago. They probably paid $150 for it, and now they're going to probably try to sell it for $500,000. And that's what goes on here. I've witnessed down here where people buy these older homes, and it's just going to be bulldozed, and a whole new house will be put up. So that house there, you're right on the water, basically. So this is going to be a $400,000, $500,000 piece of property on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you're going to get into the $1 million, $2 million properties because they're beautiful, beautiful homes. And if you go to Zillow, whatever the hell you call it. So now, what do you have to, like 3 homes? Is that a 4th one there? I couldn't know. Okay, here's 4 homes. Here's another one that's for sale. So on this drag here, but over the years, I've always have seen 2, 3. There's always been some houses for sale on this street because the people are wanting to cash out on properties they bought that they know. It's like right here, you can see this. That used to be old rundown homes that people bought, bulldozed them. Look at this here. So here's 2 buildable lots. So that guy there, he wants to sell his house and get 2 lots out of it. Here's another guy. All right. So anyways, just really wanted to share with anybody up that lives up north on how it's so easy for you to watch these YouTube channels and you to come to closure that these places really are in dire straits, but they're not. I'm just not seeing it. But then the argument will be, well, it's because it still hasn't happened. So here's a house for sale in the back end. I haven't even gone down these streets before. And look how small these houses are. Yeah, and I guarantee that yellow house is probably $400,000. Which in today's world, that's not really that per se radical. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, yeah, you go find a $400,000 home anymore. Yeah, and then here, I mean, I would think these things are in the 300 range. So now we're in the backside here, and this is really now your lower income area. I haven't even driven back here before. So I don't even know if this thing actually exits out of here and gets you back to the main road. I have no idea. As we drive around and see the different neighborhoods. And so, yeah, this is definitely your lower income community right here. And believe it or not, all the years I've lived down here, I've never done this. So I'm just like you, and it's a total circle. So I won't get out of here. I'll literally be just driving around, having to go exit back out where I came from, which isn't a real big deal because this is actually a learning experience for me. On the back side of where my brother lives, really that main drag, in some ways, is kind of the higher, the higher up area now. And then on the main drag, it kind of goes both ways. Oh, here. I wonder if you can get over. I think you probably can. This would be very interesting. Oh, yeah, look at that. So I make a left here. and then it'll take me back out to that main drag. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, see there? All right, you getting bored yet? Yeah, so, yeah, and these all, I guarantee you, these are all $350,000, $400,000 pieces of property back here. I don't think they're $500,000 like that there would, because it overlooks the water per se, not really, but in some ways it does. So, uh-oh, they got the portable police machine telling me I'm being a bad driver. Back here in this back area. Yeah, I wonder what other people could say on my channel. Is sort of, I have a lot of subscribers throughout the country. I'd love to hear others weigh in and say, well, Mr. Iceman, where I live, there's a frickin' for sale sign on every corner, and it's in bad shape. Or it's about the same. It's nothing really radical one way or the other. And the thing is, there's always going to be foreclosures. There's always going to be repossessions. And yeah, I get in the car industry, no doubt. I mean, the car industry is, just from talking to the guy at DMV, a more factual thing. Just because of, we all know what happened in the car industry. I mean, their brother got themselves buried up their ass on overpriced cars. Yeah, I wonder who did that, right? Who did that on this? Change it up. There's the Veterans Memorial right there parked. That's a nice thing they built this area. So here's some really nice area. This is now where my sister and brother-in-law live. And this is where I keep my trailer all the time when I come down here. And this house has actually been our family for a long time. My mom and dad used to own it, and they used to rent it out. It was actually a rental property for many years. And then, like that house, bulldozed. That's a $1 million home, I guarantee it. That property was bulldozed, and so that there, it's not worth $600,000-$700,000 at least. Here, believe it or not, are 2 lots. You could put two homes on this one lot. And then this is where my brother-in-law lives, and then across the street, the neighbor bulldozed his home, and he's going to eventually rebuild it. And that'll be a $2 million home if he does it a certain way. And there's my sister and brother's brother-in-law's home. And it's like this house here has been bulldozed and rebuilt. But where's the for sale signs? Once again, where's in this neighborhood here, nobody's selling. And I would think somebody that would be foreclosure status, I would think they would at least try to sell the house, at least have good intention. I have no idea. Some people may argue with that and say, well, when somebody gets that dire straits, they don't even try to sell it. It just goes to the bank, which, yeah, I don't know how many of these homes are under foreclosure. No idea. So here's the park down here. That's a great park. Just a beautiful area here. And it's interesting, on this really beautiful morning, there's not really many people out and about. And they have festivities here. They've got evening little gatherings for the music, and we've walked down that pier before. So it's just this really is a very nice neighborhood. And they've been very fortunate. There's a house. There's that house there. Oh, I guarantee that's $600,000-$700,000 home. I've witnessed all these properties here be old houses and then rebuilt. And you have to make them up to code where they got to be above sea level. So you can tell the newer homes versus the older homes, because the new codes to be able to get a permit to build a house. We got old Chevy El Camino. How about that, huh? Yes, look at that. What a beautiful day. Kids got my dad to the church. Okay, here's a house. Here's a property. This street here has had a lot of homes bought up. And all the homes that were bought up, a builder came in and has updated them, rebuilt them. So those are probably $1 million homes. I'm sure of that. They're, all these brand new homes. Because the expenses today and the guidelines and the codes and the permitting, whole different ball game. So it is more stringent to build a house today than it was so many years ago. They got across the street. And so a lot of people are hanging on to their homes, I think, too, because they know eventually it's like the farmer. The guy moved here 20, 30 years ago that paid $150,000 for his house. I'm sure his thoughts are that eventually he's going to get $600,000-$700,000 or more for his property. And there's like a vacant property. So he has some vacant properties here, and who owns those? But some of them, due to environmental and other things, will probably never be per se built. As we head on back to Popcorn's house, but I think I'm going to probably, that's my conversation. My videos load up quicker away from my parents' house. It's such a scam. Spectrum's the worst. When you try to upload stuff from my parents' house, it takes forever. So anyways, that's it. That's my conversation. Keep it there. Appreciate everybody support my channel. Stay tuned for more adventures, motorcycle riding, boating time, whatever it may be, popcorn adventures. And as always, have a great day. God bless.